Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Very excited. I'm very, very excited. And you listener are as well, because you know who the guest is already. But first I have to mention silent trailers. The show's coming up, Chemda.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I laughed my way through that last one so much.
Well, you can get tickets to this upcoming show. You can get backstage passes. You can be part of the open production meeting. Everything is now available at keithandthegirl.com/tickets. If you have Keith and the Girl VIP, get tickets to the live show for free. Get a discount to go backstage. For all info to our virtual game show, go to keithandthegirl.com/tickets. VIP, of course, also has every show we've ever made, spin-off shows, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera.
And we have a couple more shows coming up in the VIP program. I'm interviewing a belly dancer who has belly danced for decades. I don't know if a lot of you know, I have a Middle Eastern background, and we used to have belly dancers we had it at my bat mitzvah, we had it at my father's birthday at the house. It's every time we celebrate. And I saw that it's coming into American culture where you're not Middle Eastern if you hire a belly dancer. And I want to know what it's like from the belly dancer's point of view, because we used to throw dollars at them. I have a picture of me and my bat mitzvah. There's like money hanging out of her bra, and I'm like, hey, like it's just so regular. So I want to see from the belly dancer perspective, and after decades of work, how that has changed. Like from only Middle Eastern people asking her to come to work, and people outside of the culture starting to do belly dancing. It's all very interesting. I can't wait.
We're going to take off next week, but that doesn't mean, like I'm just saying, VIPers are going to be out of content. I'm also going to be doing a daddy issues episode with my brother Ken. It turns out that my dad, we don't talk, but my dad wrote the other of 4 kids and somehow got misheard something and decided that we were all trying to trick him for him to die. Don't ask.
And trick him to die, meaning murder?
Some kind of murder.
Okay.
And we're trying to get the inheritance. And then the kids wrote one at a time, like, you don't have an inheritance. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you guys were trying to say. Like, you don't have money, though. Oh, okay. Good to hear. Good to hear you weren't after my inheritance. So we'll go through all that. It's very exciting. And of course, we always do the newsy shows. We do last week on Keith and the Girl is in your VIP package right now, of course, with Karen did the latest one. That was a lot of fun. We talked about the wall calendar that I have. Kenda makes fun of me because I have an old school wall calendar on my wall. And she goes, you know what happened? You could that's lame. You could just look at your phone. Everything's digital now. And I said, let me tell you something, Kenda. You might not know this. I can do both.
Okay. First of all, I would like to give you what you want and need right now, which is an apology.
Oh.
I apologize for making fun of you, although it's very, very hilarious. It also has another side to it, and that side is, and I just said this on Newsy's show, such amazing timing. Just when you think white man does not have everything, he gets one more. Just when I make fun of his wall calendar, and I'm like, it's a digital world, man. The next day, I'm like, Keith, what's going on with this calendar? Are you touching any of our recording calendar? And he's like, no. And I'm like, all right, see you later. I'm gonna go fix something. All of the Monday episodes that I booked for July, I booked all of July's episodes. All of them were gone. Then I'm like, okay, I'll recover this. That's fine. I have all the other notes on it. Then I come back to it to start putting Monday in. Wednesday is gone, all of Wednesdays. And I'm like, what kind of ghost is working fucking day by day? Then I come back. I'm like, hey, Monday, Wednesday, we still got Friday. Friday is gone now. Everything that I have scheduled for a show recording is gone. And me and Xerxes have to piece it back together for my emails and all of this other stuff. So I formally apologize to you.
Thank you.
I'm happy to apologize on every show on our network because I know that's the only way that you do forgive wholly.
It shows that you mean it. Well, of course, you look at a calendar, it's cardboard, it's real. You look at your online stuff, it's ones and zeros. Well, that's not much, is it? Of course, that's gonna fuck up.
Well,
Throw
I
a
hate
2 in there to keep an eye on things.
And I should fully see your point of view, but I hate to tell you this, but I've added one more digital content, and that is I'm doing a spreadsheet and a calendar. So we're still in digital form, and you still have to get up during the meetings to go adjust your calendar as we talk about the Keith and the Girl month and week and days. But you won this one.
Thank you.
You landed
Boardwalk.
on Boardwalk first, so you get to buy it.
All right. Also, during that episode with Karen, we talk about the King of Staten Island, how I gave it to Henda during a pandemic, and she said, "Oh, you recommended this piece of shit?" And I'm like, I didn't even think it through. I had it. I got it from somebody early, and I gave it to you.
Okay, this one I'm ready to fight about because I told Xerxes this because you specifically told me to let him know that you weren't recommending it, and I told him that. I was like, oh, the movie that we got from Keith, he wasn't recommending it. And he goes, then, but he gave it to us. And I'm like, well, that's what I said. That's not good enough. He said, but when you send someone, he showed up to our house with a DVD. What does he think we're going to do with it? What does he think we think? He said, it's the same exact thing that I said. It's very confusing. And I don't believe Karen's on your side.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's up for a Catco Award, that section. And
for being so ridiculous. You're recommending a movie. If you hit retweet, are you not recommending someone see that video? Or are you just like, hey guys, I found a video on the internet. Do what you want.
You learn nothing. And that's going to be the poll. So the poll for today's show will be based on that VIP episode.
Okay, so it'll be based on if you send someone a video of any length, are you asking them to watch it? Are you just going video from the internet?
Henda goes, you said this
your
movie.
Cat. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do. I want you to live your life.
Henda says, I wanted the King of Staten Island to benefit her. What?
What?
It's a pandemic and you're slicing wrists. You're welcome. But no good deed. Please, Henda, we have to move on.
Okay.
Speaking of VIP, it was Rod's recommendation that I get an air fryer. So I got one. And I haven't used it yet, but I see a sticker on it that says, your air fryer must be placed at least 6 inches from walls or other objects. What? Do people live in fucking mansions? I'm in New York over here. I can't have anything by 6 inches?
Your house is going to catch fire.
Of course it is. I said, Rod, I didn't know I needed 6 inches. He said 6 inches isn't that big, Keith. First of all, 6 inches is fine for the record. So come on.
It's the motion of the fryer ocean.
Right. Let's get right to it. He's our buddy, but we haven't talked to him in a long, long time. And it's good already to see his face. You may know him as not gay Bobby. Yeah, he dresses up in women's clothing, but he loves chicks. That's all. It's Bobby Mitchell. How you doing, Bobby?
Wonderful. How you guys doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And that 6 inches comment, I agree. 6 inches is fine.
Thank you. It's just adequate. It's perfect. Right. Well, we're going to catch up with Bobby and everything that's going on, but I do have breaking news. This literally just happened. No joke. Bill Cosby's sex assault conviction was overturned by the court. He's out of jail right now as I'm talking.
Wow.
What do you mean
That's
overturned?
So crazy.
What do you mean overturned? What is that? It had somebody woke up and decided it's not right?
Cosby was 2 years into his 10-year sentence. And when I say that, I think it was 3 to 10 years in Pennsylvania. He was convicted, of course, in 2018, sexually assaulting and drugging Andrea Constant, just one person. We know there are 60 allegations, but this was based on one person. Dozens of other women accused him of sexual assault, but none had their claims prosecuted because it fell outside the statute of limitations. In fact, I remember Andrea Constant was like a week away from her statute of limitations.
Oh, wow.
She got in there just in time.
So does overturn mean he's innocent?
I get, or not guilty, whatever the difference is.
It means he was accused wrongly. It means the time wasn't actually
right. Cosby also said it wasn't fair that the jury heard from 5 other women at his trial who said he'd assaulted them. So they were out of the statute of limitations, and the women said, okay, but let me just tell you the character of this man. He drugged and raped me.
Such a character annihilation. But Does the judicial system owe Cosby an apology now? Like,
Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on.
Wrongful jail. I know you're reading the thing, and I'm like, tell me what happened. And he's like, I will read it.
Let's see. Cosby made remarks in okay. So here's what happened. Cosby, the DA had Cosby come in 2005. Okay. And said, you're not being charged for anything. We just want to hear your thoughts on roofies, this kind of thing. And he admitted, yes, I roofie women without their knowledge, and I hope that I'm going to get sex out of it. That statement was then used in court, and the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania had to decide, all right, you were basically tricked, saying we're not going to use this. We just want to hear what you're saying. Why would you say it? But because it's one of those red tape bullshit things in a movie.
But he still said it.
Yes, but he was told that it has nothing to do with a conviction. We're not looking into you. We just got to get some facts.
You know what? We're not learning the right things in movies, and I think it's about time they teach us the right things. I remember I was getting arrested, and I'm like, well, I'm not getting arrested because they have to do A, B, and C. They don't have to do shit. But right. You can confess and not confess at the proper time, and they can't use it.
Right.
Very interesting. So, but like he admitted it.
Right. So now the people are going to understand. The people are going to take it as he's innocent. He's going to end up, he'll probably sue the state of Pennsylvania now. He'll probably make money off it. He's going to come out with a drink recipe book, I guarantee. Barista Magic, bartending in Hollyweird. It's disgusting. He was charged. He was charged 2 weeks before the statute of limitations would have rendered Constant's claims expired. He was sentenced 3 to 10 years behind bars. Sentenced in 2018. The rape was in 2004. Constant sued Cosby, and in a civil deposition, he admitted using Quaaludes on women without their consent, and he said he did it to have sex with them. Over 10 years, multiple women made claims against him publicly and with the police. He didn't get a chance at a fair trial, is what the Supreme Court decided, because the judge allowed 5 women to testify as bad act witnesses. Oh, I'm sorry, he said this. Had nothing to do with the Supreme Court agreeing, but he said, hey, it's not fair because you had these other women who had nothing to do with it. Their allegations weren't being prosecuted, but they all told stories about how he assaulted them. Cosby claimed that it led to the jury to find him guilty of assaulting Constant unfairly, and that if the jury hadn't heard the other women, he would have been fine. In their decision, Pennsylvania Supreme Court did not rule on whether or not the 5 other women's testimony was fair. Instead, they focused only on the 2005 announcement by the DA, which Cosby considered an informal deal or agreement, which doesn't really make sense to me, and found that Cosby was robbed of his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself when he was deposed.
Oh my God.
What if that was a big trick? Hey, I'm going to say I did it, and you didn't dot your I's and cross your T's, and now I'm free because I said I did it. I don't know. It's so fucking weird. They said the only remedy was to free Cosby and stop him from ever being prosecuted again. Like it's some kind of weird double jeopardy thing. He must be discharged, and any future prosecution on these particular charges must be barred. Does that mean all women, or does that mean Andrea Constant?
I think Andrea Constant.
Well, the other women are, out of time anyway.
I also think, everyone's out of time. And now he's stayed in jail long enough for, the remnants of time. But I feel like you mentioned people are going to believe that he's innocent because people still do. And it was part of it was the sentencing that they were like, okay, maybe he did do it. So, but I invite everybody who thinks he didn't do it to have a drink with him that he prepares and like measure their sweat, measure their heartbeat. Like, no, it's totally cool. It's totally cool. I'm drinking it. It's hot. Hold on.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Now, he's not going to be doing a Cosby reunion. We're still going to look at him sideways like we do OJ, but he's free. He's fine.
He'll be fine. You don't think he can do a tour? I think he can sell out a tour.
Maybe a tour.
I think that Cosby has a little bit of cognitive loss because he hadn't, when you don't perform for a long time, you get rusty, you get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and Cosby was on something. He was on a talk show, and maybe it was Colbert or whatever, but he just didn't seem like he was all there. I don't know if it was what, but maybe he's not up to doing that kind of thing anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
He was
but
already
if-
he was already sitting down when he was doing stand up. He's going to be laying down
That's
in a
right.
Craftmatic.
I guess I'm trying to say that I think if he were to try to fill seats,
He could do it.
He could fill seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with gibberish and not making any sense.
Okay, so now this brings up the big issue now. All right.
Weinstein, he's got a boner now. He's excited.
Why he does? Wait a minute.
Why
He's
not?
gonna get out?
Maybe he's like,
Yeah,
holy
that's
shit, it's
right.
possible. All right, I
That's
wasn't
right.
TV's dad, but I'm a great producer. Ever hear of Goodwill Hunting? Hello.
I have heard of that, that's how big it is.
Every
Yeah.
Tarantino movie, ever hear of it?
Wow.
Shakespeare in Love, ever hear of it? So maybe, who knows?
All of
What were you going to
these.
say, Bobby?
Oh, just because like Cosby, were you a fan of Cosby's comedy at all?
Nah, he was always too wordy to me.
Too wordy. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I mean, I enjoyed some of his stuff a lot when I was growing up as a kid, like the Fat Albert stuff and other comedy albums. Anyway, so you got him and his dilemma and his art. You've got Woody Allen and his art and his dilemma, and you got Michael Jackson and his art and his dilemma. So where does it leave you on the art?
When
When you've learned this shit about them, can you still be like, yeah, Billie Jean's fucking great? Yes, it is.
Right. Well, first of all, there'd be nothing left. I look at it like, hey, why would I be punished? I didn't do it. So yeah,
Right.
I can watch Rosemary's Baby.
Okay,
I
okay.
believe Polanski fucked a 14-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, but Keith makes sure he doesn't pay for it
Yes.
So
Good.
If Cosby came out with a movie, for example, and I wanted to see it because, well, the balls on this guy, I'd buy a
Right.
ticket for a different movie and sneak in.
Good. Very good.
But yeah, I'd still watch. Like Woody Allen does a movie with Dice. What, I don't get to see the great Dice now? No.
I know.
Fuck you.
I know.
well,
I
I
didn't
see
do
it
it.
as what if we take this into account moving forward and we stop making deities of people who make us laugh and people who make us feel with their words and their acting and make it what it is. This is like it's coming from inside the house. You feel this way. These people help you evoke and get these feelings out, but that
Right.
does not mean that they're on your side with politics. That doesn't mean that they'll help you out when you fall into a puddle. Like it is what it is. Can we not erect statues of people and decide that they can't go wrong because they're just the same shitty fucking neighbors that you have right now?
I won't pay for food at Chick-fil-A, but if they leave the back door open, I'm going to steal a bag of fries.
Politics by Keith Malley.
Right.
Yeah. So it's fine to eat it. It is a good sandwich, but you're not getting $6 for it. Yeah, I did the art thing. I don't even put so much thought in it to think, can I separate
Right.
the art from the artist? But yeah, I can in that. But Cosby's tough too. Speaking of Colbert, he made a good point when he used to love Cosby. He was talking to Seinfeld. And Seinfeld says, well, you can still listen to that and laugh, right? And he's like, no, I can't, because when it comes to stand-up, I have to love you to be laughing. And there's no love there now. So he can't listen to it anymore. I can understand that. I can see stand-up being different than a movie and especially music.
Yeah, that's true.
And I
Yes,
want to hear,
because
my
it's
skin
less-
would crawl if I heard an interview with Michael Jackson. It wouldn't if I hear a song.
Right.
I feel like it's because there's less collaboration in stand-up. It is you telling your side of the story, and now your side of the story has been corroded by all this stuff. So when it's music, you might even have like even if you are the musician for all of your music and the singer, there's still other people involved in this collaboration aspect and different things that you get out of it, other actors in movies. But yeah, stand-up does feel personal.
And also, what bothers me about this Cosby thing, is that poor Andrea Constant is going to be looked at like a liar now. Nobody's going to know, no, it had to do with red tape bullshit.
Right.
We know he's still guilty, but to do the right thing, we have to follow the letter of the law.
Right. All you hear is the headline, which is it was overturned.
I knew he didn't do it. No, he did it. Do you understand that? He admitted he did it.
Yeah, like the story should start, even though Cosby said this, and
Right.
this, his sentence was overturned.
Yeah. I drugged women without them knowing, hoping I would fuck one of them.
It's still, as you say that every single time, I'm like, Cosby.
Yeah. Like that. He
Oh.
said that. That is a fact. Never forget that for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's hard.
You know, when you're out in the street cheering at the justice being done, don't forget that's exactly what he said. There's 4 people, it seems, on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, I believe. The majority opinion stated Cosby convictions and judgment of sentence are vacated and he is discharged. The court was split on its judgment with 4 in favor. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it must be, you know, a number, obviously, right? 4 in favor of letting him out, 2 part in favor.
You can do that?
Part not in favor, and 1 who filed a dissent entirely. Only 1 person said, no fucking way, but it didn't matter.
Part favor? What? That's
Right.
like calling in sick. I don't. Did you shrug as your answer?
The decision cannot be appealed by the prosecution in the state of Pennsylvania, so it's done. When asked if
favor.
Yeah, I kind of get it. All right, we'll put you down to kind of get it and then see where the numbers end up.
Then what's the law there? I don't, it's not, does this need a little more salt? Yeah, maybe a pinch. What?
When asked if Cosby will be released from prison, blah, 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 but he is. He's out right now. Cosby was sentenced to blah, 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 blah.
Would you be so surprised if he sues?
Why not sue?
Wrongful conviction.
Yeah, why not?
I don't.
Is the public not going to like you because you pushed it? Who gives a fuck?
Right. Do this this is your new project.
Is he going to be on interviews like, CNN, this kind of thing? And, they just want him because it's it's going to get eyeballs. But at the same time, they got to play dumb when he's like, and see, it was all wrong for like, well, I know it's not, but we're a piece of shit to even have you on here. So go ahead, say that.
Yes, he's going to go on interviews because he still believes that he is a highly qualified and lovable person.
Right.
He's like, what did I do? He's still saying, what did I do?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I guarantee Weinstein's Googling some shit. And I bet you Cosby can see again all of a sudden. They all went to the same school. It's like, all right, you're blind now and you can't walk too much. Cosby will be just fine. And if things go well for Weinstein, he'll get out and be just fine too.
That's like in the 80s when people were suing people like, oh, I was injured. They're always wearing the neck brace. The neck brace is the indicator. Right. Oh, something happened to you, but you could just put a neck brace on.
If this was a movie, the women all get together now and somehow go
light
after
him on
Cosby.
fire.
Yeah, light him on fire.
Yeah, and laugh as he burns.
That was in a Brady Bunch episode where I think where the Brady Bunch was being sued by a guy because they cut him off in traffic and he had a neck brace on as if to indicate, oh, I'm really fucked up. And then they did a trick where they threw a briefcase on the floor and it made him turn his head real quick. And they're like,
Yes, that was like, you know how there was like one thing for every. There was when the Drummonds, one of them got mugged. So that was the PSA, was this, that, and the next. So there was always a neck brace one. I don't remember what episode of what show, but there was an episode on another show where she's suing, some random stranger, I think, is suing, and she has a neck brace on. And then they visit her at the home like, well, we did, ruin her neck or whatever. Let's bring her these muffins. I don't remember the details of it. Mm-hmm. Through her window, she's doing aerobics. Right. It was always something goofy like, gotcha. Not the doctor says.
Right. Well, that's funny. Like Brady Bunch, he's in court and the judge sees the guy turn his head. It's like, okay, you're faking it. It's like, no, I just turned my head. It still hurt.
Right. Right. Like, let's not put a doctor on the stand. Let's just see what happens.
Right. Well, I'm going to mention this because I just mentioned the Cosby news. BetterHelp. You need online therapy? I wouldn't fucking blame you. It's 2021. Mental health is finally a thing. Hemda uses them.
Love it.
Big fan.
Love it.
Loves it. She loves it. It's cheaper, which is shocking to me, than in-person therapy. You can do it when you want to, on your schedule, right there on your phone, right there on your computer. You can have the camera on or off, anything you want to do. There's no excuses not to fix yourself.
And I'm changing therapist. I talked a little bit more about it on Q&A. So if you're interested in that, but I'm changing therapists again. And you know how easy it's going to be? Click. I did it. Boom. I don't have to tell you why. Although this one, I'm going to be like, hey, I think you and I are good. Thank you for your time. Good to know you. Hope you have a fun trip to Puerto Rico, which he told me he was going to, which is not
no one
information I
asks
care
about
for.
me.
I'm just like, he's like, what are you doing for the 4th? I'm like, no, it's not a thing. And he's like, well, I don't know.
Right.
No, thanks.
Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. See if it's for you, because you are your greatest asset. The podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp, HELP.com/KATG. That's BetterHelp.com/KATG.
And we joke, but we all need help. You don't want to suffer alone. You don't want to do any of this by yourself. And you might feel like you do have a community, you do have some people around you. There's something different about going to get help that's a therapist, that you can say things outside of your circle. It has no repercussions. You might find that you can let go of a little bit more. So it is a serious thing. So thank you, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.com/KATG. And speaking of, Bobby has been on a journey.
I have.
Right? I think you have. I was checking out old shows you were on. You, of course, can go to keithandthegirl.com/Bobby Mitchell. Hear some of his songs. Hear
how old? What year was that? 2005.
Back in 2006 was your first episode. You were on 6 times. The last one being 2014.
Wow.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
And we were talking about you. I know you went at that time. It was fairly soon after your divorce. You had a like a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
New York comedy, of course. He does, for lack of better words, real songs and joke songs. Both are fucking excellent. The voice is excellent. The guitar is amazing as well. He was nice enough to open for one of my shows. That was fantastic. But trying to do comedy, it's tough. And so he has all this shit is going on. Tell me if I'm saying anything wrong. And you end up moving back in with your parents in Florida.
Yeah, I had a glorious 12 years in New York, but at the end, after the divorce, I had depression out the ass and anxiety and the whole 9 yards, right? And then also early midlife crisis shit going on too.
When I say depression and anxiety, you had trouble talking, right? Like you
I was in a bad way with the depression. Yeah.
And when you're with this is when you also, maybe a little before that, you started realizing you're into cross-dressing. One time your wife comes home and you're shaving she catches you shaving your legs in the tub. Is cross-dressing not the word?
I think I asked her to shave my back, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yes. But I mean, that's still a part of my life, but not much. You know what I mean? So it's there occasionally. It's like that jersey that you throw on once in a while.
Are you like, today was a rough day, let me get a dress? Is it like that?
No, it's more like Pride just happened, Pride weekend.
Right.
So that would have been a prime moment to do it. But because of COVID, there's nothing going on anywhere. So it's kind of like a non-event. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the last time we spoke to you, you described it as when you want to feel pretty, you put on a dress.
Yeah, it's that totally. And the thing is, I'm so pretty now.
Gorgeous. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like not even necessary.
I remember Bobby was telling a story where he's depressed, his marriage is failing, all this stuff, and he got pulled over driving drunk by a cop, and he's wearing a dress and everything, and the cop's like, "Oh, you're wearing a dress, huh?" And Bobby goes, "I think that's the least of my problems right now."
Oh, I can't believe you remember that.
Okay, it's so funny. Yeah.
Oh my God, the balls. You mellow with age a little bit and you look back and you see, what was that crazy wild horse doing running around in that field?
You also mellow a little without that much alcohol driving. And
that's right.
It was a time. And we met your ex, and you both had such a passionate relationship, big with the friendship between you guys. I mean, now that I went through my own divorce, wow,
Mhm.
divorce is it's like it's so corny to say divorce is tough, but it's a very special break. And when I look back at your connection that you had with your wife,
Yeah.
that broke, I fully understand why a tizzy would follow.
I like that special break. That's nice.
Yeah, it's not like, you can get like health problems, but when you have these emotional and you have no control over it because this is another human being, and the
Right.
most control you have over it is admitting that it's over is
Oh, yeah.
oof, so
But
heavy.
I'll tell you something nice. I talked to her about like a month ago. I had this whole. I've been coming out of my shell in certain, so to speak, in certain ways. Like I had the COVID year was really hard. I didn't have a job. What I was
Was
doing
it? I didn't notice. Flew by.
yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, and it's funny that you said I've been coming out of my shell, and I'm like, right, because we can't leave our house. We got to come out of something.
That's right. That's true.
Right. By the way, I'm
So
sorry, before you continue,
yeah,
in 2014, you were mentioning how you were seeing a woman. She said, you know what? I like the bravery of cross dressers, actually. And you went, oh, interesting. Well, watch this. And she was all into it. Were you alone during the pandemic, or are you guys still together?
oh no, that's a long time ago. That
Yeah.
that relationship. I'm basically now she's a very private person, so I'm not going to
Okay.
answer any questions about her. But I've been with my girlfriend for a good long time, like about 9, 10 years,
Wow.
and she's golden, and I'm a very lucky man. That's
Oh,
all I can say on the topic.
so it was right after that interview almost that relationship didn't work out, but now you found somebody else. Is what it
Yes, I
sounds
did.
like. Okay.
Remember OK Cupid?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how that happened. So I'll be
Good.
forever indebted to OK Cupid. You know,
Aren't we all? Let's just
right?
be indebted to more people. Sure.
For sure.
But that's a lot.
Here's my firstborn.
Right.
But almost 10 years, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going great. We have 2 cats,
Okay.
Oh,
Sammy and Barney, who are both girls, and they're 15 and 5 respectively. So we got our cat babies going on.
wow.
So what
So this year was rough though.
Oh, this year was rough because what I was doing for the better part of 10 years, I was making my living any way I could as an entertainer, which wound up being entertaining at assisted living facilities.
okay.
That's
So
so
I
funny.
started
Keith's mother recently moved into an assistant living facility.
really,
Yeah, if she
Mhm.
laughed inappropriately, I apologize. That seems to
okay.
be happening a lot.
And is it like a memory care thing or is it just an
It's
assisted living?
it's Alzheimer's
Oh,
in the
okay, I'm
worst way.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
That's it.
sorry. Yeah, that's I've seen so much of that because I played a lot of memory care places. And what I was trying to do was fill my calendar with as many gigs as possible to make this a viable option for making a living, right? So I would
Right.
book one place at 2 p.m. on Wednesday for their fucking happy hour. Then you got this place at 4 p.m. The next
For
day you're
dinner.
driving here and there dinner.
Right.
You try special events, holidays, blah, blah, blah. But I never made enough money doing it, honestly. Like I was always scraping by. And it really, whatever appeal there was to it early on, like you really are helping people. You know how it is. You do certain, you know what I
Right.
mean? And and basically like that wore off over time. And I wound up feeling like a fucking loser. I'm sitting there playing for, memory
But
care people. I mean, now I'm
what are you
48.
playing?
So
What are you playing? Like Fly Me to the Moon, that kind of stuff?
yeah, I play all kinds of great shit. Like I play
Do you
stuff from
play
the
porno
40s.
collection? Do you play
No,
no porno
Not
collection?
no porno collection. No,
Do
not
you
from the
know how
oldies.
often I hear porno
Oh,
collection?
that makes me feel great. I'm so
Just
so good.
happy.
people can say the word porno, and in my head, just know that I'm going porno collection.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so fun.
So you start realizing, hey, I don't like this. Do you start going into another depression? Like I can't get back in this
Yes.
place again.
Yes, I definitely was depressed. And then during the whole COVID, okay, as soon as COVID hit, all my business died because they all closed.
Right.
Oh, I thought because they died. Sorry.
Or some of
Right.
them did. Some of them did.
That was a fun joke, but
Yes, it was.
we all understand the seriousness of COVID.
Of course, of course. And basically, so I was without a job, and it made 2020 rough. So, and I didn't know what else to do, and that's been like the bane of my existence is not having some other career. Like I for the longest time would compare myself to other friends, you know what I mean? And other people I
Sure.
know who have careers, they've built something. Even you guys, when I would think of you
Even
occasionally, I'd be like,
us. Can you
I would
imagine? Even
comparing
us.
myself to everyone in my life, and I'm always coming out on the losing end of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's my own head game that I've been working to unravel and try and get that shit out. But basically, I just got a job recently, and that has like cracked that psychosis because I have a daytime job, and then I'm gigging on the side. I'm still doing those gigs on the side, but my absolute joy is doing all the new music, all the shit that you heard. I've
Yeah.
been working on that for a year now, and all of a sudden, for years and years, I thought to myself, from the old days, like, well, if I'm not going to make it, what's the point? All that shit from way back when. And then I lost the meaning of what it is to why make music for what, if it's not going to get me anywhere, or if I can't monetize it, or I was thinking about it all wrong, obviously, which was a remnant of trying to get famous when you're younger and you hold on to all that bullshit. Right.
Right. Let me mention this, by the way.
Yeah.
Bobby's SoundCloud is at the catchy Bobby-Mitchell-4. So you can hear everything.
It is. I didn't even know it.
So do you remember how I got out of this depression when I was divorced, and did you have any tools this last year or two?
Yes. I mean, definitely medication and therapy, although I never found a therapist that I really jived with in my insurance. So that's kind of a pain in the balls.
Right.
But yes, you do learn. And also with maturity, I think you remember levels of pain you went through and how to try and avoid them. You know what I mean? Like for someone with anxiety attacks, and panic attacks, learning all of the things to do with breathing and visualizations and, that kind of stuff. So
you can catch the train before it fully derails.
Exactly. But with the depression thing, like for me, all of a sudden in the middle of COVID, something snapped. It was July. Well, it's almost fucking July. So it was a year ago. And I just wanted to record something on guitar. And I went over to an iPad that I have and I recorded some guitar, and that just snowballed. And before I knew it, I was recording new songs that I was writing, as well as stuff that had been in the hopper for like 10 years. So some of the material has been around for like 10 years.
Isn't that funny? Because snowballs can be good or bad. Like,
oh yeah,
you do something bad, you snowball. You do something good, you snowball. You
right.
just kind of hope that you keep doing enough good that your snowballs in the good area.
And that's to try and intentionally make the snowballs happen in the right direction, right? Yeah, for real. So where was I? I lost track.
Somewhere cold.
Somewhere cold. Snowballs.
Yeah.
So you did have some tools. You knew how to get at it. Does depression keep popping up like every month or so? Or
I think it really has to do with circumstances for me. It's not like a purely chemical thing. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm definitely ADHD, and that's a factor for many people. You know what I mean?
And would the pandemic have an effect that by July, it would just be that emotional, or is it not that? Was there a different event that happened that you're?
Are you saying the emotional part of COVID making me depressed?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Mine was honestly really about not having a job. Like I had suffered for a long time having a job that I kind of loathed and felt like a loser, and then not having the next idea of what to do and being afraid that I'd have to do something I really didn't like. Because that's the thing that bothers me, because I've done jobs I didn't like and I didn't want to do that again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're allergic.
You guys, I'm so happy for you that you have a life, that you have a connection to your work. You know what I mean? It's a purpose. And that's a beautiful thing. So don't ever lose sight of that. You know what I'm saying?
Did you, by the way,
definitely, yeah.
Thank you. But did you keep your well, this isn't about us. Did you
okay.
Do you keep your drag name, Betty Mercury?
No, I never got to use it.
Mm.
And I never, you know what? I really never did drag. I would dress for my own fun.
Okay.
And occasionally that might be outside somewhere, you know what I mean? But like, I was never a drag performer. They've got it together on a level, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Are you fans of drag?
I don't want to say I'm not a fan. Kinda.
We have an
Like-
appreciation for it, but we don't know it very well. Like we
Okay, so
know,
you don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race?
no.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. It's fucking awesome.
The only reason I think drag turns me off because I have been to a couple shows, and every single time, I give it's either my look or the way I'm sitting, but they're like, all right, this guy's a good sport because he's paying a lot of money to see this drag show, but I can tell he's, for lack of better words, he's a manly man, so we're gonna fuck with him. And they're
Oh,
always throwing their tits in my face, and it kind of hurts.
right.
And I'm, they're rubbing my bald head like it's cute. Like, look what I'm doing to this super obviously straight guy. And I'm like, okay, but come on.
Well, this is, I just want to say, like, the RuPaul's Drag Race thing has become such a phenomenon. It's
Right.
huge. And now they've had like 13 seasons of drag queens on.
Mhm.
And these drag queens are really good entertainers. Some of them do music, and the music is fucking good. RuPaul actually has a shitload of music that's really good. So, and there's a lot of comedy stuff in there because these are comedy queens, so you've got
Right.
people that are brilliant fucking comedians, songwriters, actors, but they're doing drag because it's making them the most mileage. That's like their
and
gig.
it's safe because it's on your TV. I don't want to say, oh, don't touch me, but I
Right.
do like it better on TV.
Oh, okay. Well, then you got
So
plenty
maybe
of
I'll
options. Yeah.
give it a chance.
So I don't know how I got on RuPaul's musical career, but anyway.
I
Well,
asked you
I've
about
been-
Betty Mercury.
Oh, Betty Mercury. I wish I could have used that. I'm holding on to it.
Are your parents still
TM.
around?
My dad passed away 4 years ago, and my mom is still around. My mom is like great shape, and she's just the best person in the world. Like, I'm crazy about her. So
Did
I'm
your
very
dad make
lucky.
peace with you liking to cross dress sometimes?
I think it still bothered him, but our relationship was about so many other things that didn't matter.
Sure.
You know what I
That's
mean?
good.
Like, it's like politics. It might be a difference of opinion, but it's not going to get in the way of our love. You know what I mean? Like, we've really had a bond.
Did you wear a dress to the funeral?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Maybe
it a-
panties.
Oh, well, sure. That's for
know.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just for you.
But I don't want his friends to be uncomfortable.
Okay.
You sound good. Are
I
you
feel
happy?
great. Yeah, like I said, I got this job, and that lifted the whole cloud off of doing the assisted living gigs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and so there's a good balance. I have a life balance now. And when someone says, "So what are you up to?" I don't feel like a schmuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What is the job? What are you up to?
I'm helping people apply for emergency housing relief funding in Florida.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
you're taking applications, you're helping people with applications. There's like $800 million that has come down the pipeline for home people that need help with rent and stuff like that. So I found myself a job where there's, like I said, there's some little purpose in there. You feel good when you're helping somebody because it's serious shit,
Wow,
Right.
And and now I've heard so many stories of people in dire straits that I'm counting my blessings. So that brings my whole happiness level up too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just very,
You found the
happy.
right people to compare yourself to?
that's right.
I know with your wife at the time, you were debating because that's just what a person does, moving to the suburbs, having kids. That didn't happen, but is that still on your mind? It sounds by your that it's not.
No, I'm good not having kids. I think the two things that I miss about not having kids, it just wasn't in the cards for me. But the two things I miss, one is having someone to care for you when you're older. I mean, obviously. So what you have to do is you have to charm the pants off that 20 years younger nurse neighbor that you have. So she's
Yeah, that
guilted
always
into
goes,
taking
right?
care. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a long shot. I guarantee it's a long
The
shot.
wife is going to
but-
love that because usually,
Right.
yeah, that 20-year-old will just care for you when you can't anymore.
That's the plan. Maybe it's not the best plan, but so and then the other thing is, like, when I see friends of mine and family members relating to their children, they see themselves in them, they see their parents in them. It's just an amazing life experience to live life through your kid's life and relate to them. So that's a fantastic thing that I shared from this end with my parents, but I never got to share it from the parent side. And it's a pretty special thing that I know,
So
that I will have missed
question,
out on.
these friends that see themselves in their kids, have they hit teenage yet?
Yes.
They have, and they still see them in them?
Well,
Like,
I don't know. I can't speak to that. I know that they have seen them in them.
Because my parents saw me in them, and that's where they went wrong.
Oh,
Because
okay.
because you end up being like, why aren't you still like me? And I'm like, I'm just gonna have one separate opinion. And they're like, but you came from my blood. And I'm like, yeah, now I got
Uh,
my own blood going on. Like, we're gonna just do
right.
like slight separation and then separation anxiety and then just wow.
It
And
is
then
funny. Like,
Yeah.
you came from me. And it's like, yeah, but if you fucked one literal second later, I'd be a completely different person.
Right.
But somehow it's so special. Any different position, I'd be a mathematician instead. But
Are you still
okay.
doing? Are you still doing the birthday stand up DVD every year?
You know what? I was just reminiscing over them because I wanted to check what album you opened for it, and I see it was Point Counterpoint.
I looked that up. I looked up you on somehow. I found that on Amazon or on Apple Music or something.
Yep.
Because I'm on that. I'm listed on there. So I was like, what the hell? Oh my god, look at that.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, so I haven't. I do it every year. Stand up. One show, one take. And I stopped at the pandemic. So let's say it was understood we locked down in March. April's when I would have done the stand up.
So
And
how many has it been?
So I didn't do the last. We're at 17 or so, but I didn't
That's
do the
awesome.
last two. And just the other day, in fact, I happened to look at notes that I have been taking, and I'm very excited to do it again. So
Oh, nice.
I love the idea that it's
you
on
only
my
missed
birthday.
one, didn't you?
No,
you missed two. Okay, sorry.
but I just missed them. Like I just missed the beginning of the first year.
Mhm.
It just came at the end of the second year, and I do love the idea of if you look at when I did it, that it was always on this date. So you have to wait another year. But next April, next year, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm excited.
That is awesome.
If everyone
Awesome.
gets vaxxed and behaves a little bit, I think April we're gonna all get to see each other.
I'll be vaxxed. You could die if you want. What do you think about this, Bobby? The other day I did go to a birthday dinner. Of course, I'm all vaxxed up and everything. And somebody came with a mask and said, I'm not vaccinated, but I have the mask on because my job won't allow me to get COVID, whatever the fuck that meant. And right then and there, I had to make a decision out of this group of 10 people for myself and think, do I leave?
Yeah.
Do I leave any situation from now on or for the unforeseeable future? Or do I tell myself, this is on you because you're not scaring me. I can only be scaring you if you have common sense. If you die, okay.
Right.
It sounds so fucking dark, but I
Right.
don't know what else to do. Now, this person isn't like a loved one for what that's worth. And they wouldn't be, because I would say, let's say it was my girlfriend. I'd be like, no, we're not going out. Or I'm not going, end of story. But it's a friend of a friend. And I'm like, I guess it'll be a shame if you die, but I can't care or I can't live.
Yeah. I can't understand I mean, what reasons are there not to get vaccinated if you're pregnant, and what else? If you have health conditions that don't allow you to, but otherwise you're good to go.
And is it worth it? Is it worth sipping from my drink?
Right.
You want to try my drink, but you have the mask on, and it's worth it because you believe in the virus, it seems, but you don't believe in the vaccine. But you do have to go out to a party and be in the middle of a group.
You also don't have a mask on. You cannot go to dinner with a mask on.
Right.
That's not, it's not like you can trick the air. Like you lower your mask down, you quickly shove the food in your face, then you close it. And it's like, well, it couldn't have gotten me in the 3 seconds that I had my mask down. That was just for food. I got to put food in the food hole and then the air comes in, but I closed it up before the air came in.
Right.
Right.
If anything, you're scooping up more air each time. Right?
I am sure that this is so scientific. I don't understand going to a dinner before you did the right thing. Like it's okay. Like if you're not getting vaccinated, you get to stay home. That's it. You get to continue your quarantine. That's the decision you're making. I had to wait because I had these conditions, which means I had to sit in quarantine more. That's my reward, is sit there.
Oh no, I have someone close to me in my life who's an anti-vaxxer and is just like, again, just like, I'm not going to let such things get in the way of friendships. I'm not, ridiculous, but
But are you gonna go meet them? Are you inviting them to
no,
your birthday?
no, I don't. Well, I didn't have a birthday party, but no, I would just not have events. That would be the route I would take. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be throwing events where I couldn't invite someone close.
Like,
Well, I would throw it if I feel comfortable to invite people over. The stipulation is if you're fully vaxxed and waited the the time after that.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
That's it. That's okay to have these stipulations. This is ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
It's like saying I want you to wear a condom. I'm not saying you're dirty. I'm
Right.
saying these are the stipulations to have sex with me. This is not.
I know you're dirty. That's not the issue.
That's why I'm
We-
going to have sex with you.
Right.
we just met. Think about it, right? I put the poll up to yesterday's show. If vaccinated, are you on board with Keith's way of thinking? I thought people would think I'm sick. Yes, I'll go out, and if anti-vaxxers die, sorry. 75% of the votes.
25% of our audience is not fully vaxxed yet.
Versus
Okay.
no, I won't
I'm
go out
joking.
yet. She's joking. No, I won't go out yet because people can't take care of themselves. 17% agree with that. Like, I know they feel responsible. I can't. I can listen to Michael Jackson because I didn't do it, and
Right.
I can kill people with no shame. Or the third option was I go out to kill people. I'm an anti-vaxxer myself, or any other thing you got going. 8%. So 8% have something going.
Guess which one of us wrote the words for that poll? Who strung those words together? Who put the melody to that song?
I go out to kill people. I'm an anti-vaxxer myself, or any other thing you got going. Like, I mean, I can understand maybe you have kids and the real young kids can't get the get the vaccine yet.
Right.
I get that. Okay. But
That's
that wasn't
actually-
the situation.
That's actually my debate. Is after a little bit of time, I will feel comfortable with people who are vaccinated. I'm going to be very careful, but I have a brother here. The brother and the sister-in-law are vaccinated. The parents that live with them are vaccinated. The kids are not allowed to be vaccinated, and they go to daycare. Am I putting myself at risk? Like, do I not see them?
Yeah.
They're the ones I want to see.
Right.
Mhm.
They're the only ones.
Eh.
Pumpkin rates. I'm 100% with Keith about the vaccine. I've been fully vaccinated since early February, and I'm ready to
Oh.
live life. What's that?
Wow, early.
Yeah. I still bartend and wait tables on weekends, and people are wary of me. Go fuck yourself. There are people in other countries, of course, that would love to have the doses that we throw out. I give a fuck for these anti-vaxxers. I do too, because what can you do? You can't do anything. I'm gonna leave every situation where there's one weirdo there.
No, I
That's
don't
what I'm
know
gonna do. That's impractical.
I don't know why you would leave. It's not on you.
I know, but you know,
And you're the safest thing for them. It's the other non-vaxxers that are not safe. So this person is in the middle of a safe zone.
And this
They're actually
person-
lucky.
and this person who can't get it because of their job. Well, I was sitting next to an anti-vaxxer or somebody that said that admitted that they have a fake card.
Oh.
Oh, so them two are the ones that are killing each other.
Yeah, so kill each other, I guess.
A fake vax card is every time you say that, I'm like,
And you
wow.
said
Yeah.
that. You said that at a party of friends. You said that out loud. And we're like, well, everybody has a right to their point of view.
Jeez.
Can I
People are the worst
Hello, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
and the best, but people are the worst.
Like snowballs, you know what I mean?
Like snowballs.
Depends what side of the hill you're throwing the snowball.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you having a fun snowball fight, or is there a machine gun that they're loading snowballs
Right.
in?
Right. Is this an issue you look back on with dread for your entire life? Snowball fight. Oh no.
Where do people go to hear your music other than your SoundCloud?
Spotify.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
everything up on Spotify. I found this awesome service because when I started putting music out, I'm like, how do you do it? You know? And there's DistroKid. There's a service
Yeah.
called Distro. You know of it?
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, $20 and you can put out all your shit as much as you want. And if you want to do a cover song, it's $12 a year. And that
Oh,
repeats.
really?
Yes.
I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah. So I did a couple of covers, but mostly original. So Spotify, everything's on Bobby Mitchell on Spotify. And yeah. and the SoundCloud.
All
Very
right.
cool.
Yeah, I think
And the
you're- I-
two songs you want, when Hemda said that you requested two songs, you requested Florida Man
Mhm.
Mhm.
and
Freak Show.
Freak Show, which have the two most aggressive guitar solos in them. And I'm like, fuck Keith. I know exactly what he's just like, come on, Bob. Come on, what do you got? What do you got, punk?
I
But,
picture that sometimes, like somebody makes a song in the studio and then they're like, "Oh fuck, I got to do it live." Like,
Well,
do you
that's
ever
true.
do musicians ever dumb it down? Like they want the song to be better, but they want to be able to play it live.
I don't know. I don't. I do my best, and then I have to rehearse the shit after the fact. You know, there's
Right.
Yeah,
composition, and then there's performance, and just like you gotta fucking get shit tight before you throw it out there. So
Yeah, there are notes that if you warm up, you can hit like these super high notes, right? But then you got to do that live. So
right,
you better get your rest the night before.
that's
By
right.
the way, if you ever want to like just, play a little ditty, we meet every Wednesday night with Keith and the Girl people on chat, keithandthegirl.com/chat. 8 p.m. people join. At 8:30, we play poker. But people have played their music there. They showed us their art, and we're really just hanging out. So if anyone wants to come, you could leave your camera off or turn it on. But it's like a fun, easygoing party.
That's cool. I wrote
Yeah.
it down here. Chat. And where is it? What time and what day?
8 p.m. Eastern,
Eastern.
every Wednesday.
You have it
Awesome.
on your wall calendar. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Bob-
the one thing I had to tell you about
Yeah.
Florida Man, that solo, I didn't play that solo. That's my friend Jamie G, is a guitar playing wizard that I know.
Well, learn it. You
Well,
gotta
So
do
you
I
it
gotta
have
learn
live.
it.
if I that would be, I aspire to learn that guitar solo. Yes, but Freak Show was me. I just got to get it tight, you know.
Outstanding. Well, you can hear the song, and we'll hopefully convince Bobby to play for us soon.
For sure.
Again, you look great. You sound happy. Congrats on
am.
your relationship.
Thank you.
9 years is no fucking joke. And that's it, dude.
All right. I
You
love you
cheered me up.
guys. I miss you guys.
Miss you too. Hope to see you.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm so happy. I was waiting for this. This is so fun. And I've been
Yay.
reconnecting with friends coming out of depression. That's another thing you do all of a sudden. You've been hiding and like you've been disappeared for a long time. And then you start like realizing, holy shit, I have a life. I have friends that I cherish. You know what I mean? And so you start reaching out, and it's almost like having a bunch of reunions just like this. It just feels, it feels great.
So this was a great plan you had. Let's go off the
Yeah.
grid every 5 years. Look at that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Of course, with Keith and the Girl VIP, here are all the shows that Bobby was on. You have access to every show we've ever done, all the way back in 2005. All right, and also with VIP, get your free ticket for silent trailers, et cetera, et cetera.